For 22 years, he was invisible. He walked the fairways, watched the swings, and made the calls that nobody remembers. He was the silent backbone of fair play. But last weekend, that invisible man stepped into the spotlight, and he brought a bomb with him. On live television, this 22-year veteran quit. He didn't resign quietly in a back office. He looked straight into the camera and dropped a confession that sent shockwaves through the sport. He said he was ordered to ignore Wyndham Clark's cheating on 4 separate holes. 4 holes. The host froze. The producers panicked. But the official didn't stop. He exposed a secret that the USGA desperately wanted to bury. Think about this. A man does not throw away a 2-decade career over a simple misunderstanding. He doesn't risk his pension, his reputation, and his entire future unless he saw something deeply wrong. So, what did he see? What happened on those 4 holes that was so bad that the people above him told him to turn a blind eye? We know Wyndham Clark is a fighter. He plays with intense aggression. But the video evidence from that round, according to this official, tells a completely different story than the official scorecard. He claims the rules were broken, and he had proof. He says the order came from high up. He says they wanted to protect the star player. He couldn't live with the lie, so he walked away. What he revealed changes the way we look at professional golf forever. Was this just one bitter man's opinion, or did the system actually try to cover up cheating? We are going to break down every single hole, every order, and every part of this cover-up in detail. But first, your POV. Do you believe this official, or do you think he is making it all up? Drop your ruling in the comments. And if you want to hear the full truth that the networks will not show you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That moment didn't just stop a broadcast. It shattered golf's invisible wall of silence. For 22 years, this man was the ultimate ghost of the game. He walked the fairways, watched the swings, and made the tough calls without blinking. But ghosts are supposed to stay silent. He didn't. In the world of professional golf, rules officials are the forgotten guardians. They don't get trophies or sponsorships. They get headaches. The moment they speak up, they become the villain. This veteran knew that truth better than anyone. He spent 2 decades hiding in the shadows, enforcing the rule book with military precision. Then, in one sentence, he erased all of it. This official didn't just quit his job. He incinerated his career. There is no coming back from accusing the USGA of a cover-up. No tournament will hire him. No player will trust him. He walked onto that live broadcast fully aware that he was torching his livelihood. Ask yourself, would you burn everything you have built over a small mistake? No. That means what he saw was not a small mistake. It was systemic. It was deliberate. To understand the weight of his accusation, we have to look at the stage where this happened. This wasn't a minor Monday qualifier. It was a high-stakes event where Wyndham Clark was fighting for a legacy. Clark is the US Open champion. He is aggressive, fiery, and television loves him. When a star player is in contention, the rules often get flexible. This official claims that flexibility turned into outright fraud on 4 specific holes. Here is the twist. He didn't call out a random missed penalty. He claimed the cheating was visible. The evidence was clear, and despite that evidence, someone in power gave the order to ignore it. Not a suggestion, an order, a direct command to break the rules so the show could go on. But if the cheating was so obvious, why hide it? The answer is simple: money. Wyndham Clark is a product. When a product sells, you protect the packaging. But when you protect the packaging over the rules, you destroy the sport. That is the war this official found himself fighting. And he lost. Or did he? Because by quitting, he just guaranteed we are all watching. Now we have to look at the actual holes. What happened on that course that forced a 22-year veteran to break his silence? The answer lies in a tournament that had already been under a microscope for months, and the first crack in the case appeared on a par 5 that changed everything. The tournament was the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Bay Hill. Wyndham Clark came into that week with something to prove. He had already faced whispers about his rules etiquette. There were murmurs from other players, side eyes from caddies. Nothing public, just the kind of quiet suspicion that follows a player who seems to get away with things others don't. On Friday morning, the first questionable moment happened. Clark's approach shot landed in the rough just off the green. The official was watching. He saw Clark place his club behind the ball. He saw the club press down, flattening the grass. The ball rolled slightly. Clark reset his stance. The official's heart dropped. He knew exactly what he had just witnessed. A clear violation. He reached for his radio to call it in. But before he could speak, the voice in his earpiece stopped him cold. "Stand down," they said. "We will review it after the round." That was the first hole. The official did not call the penalty. Clark made par, saved his score, and moved on. But the official was now on high alert. He started watching Clark's every move like a hawk, and what he saw on the next hole only confirmed his worst fears. He had caught the first violation, but they silenced him. Now he was watching the second one unfold in real time, and this time he refused to look away. Hole number 7, a difficult par 4 with water on the right. Clark pulled his tee shot left into the trees. He found his ball near a drainage grate. Free relief, no problem. But when you take relief, you must drop the ball within 1 club length of the nearest point of relief, no closer to the hole. The official watched Clark measure his drop. He placed the marker, stepped back, and dropped. The ball bounced and rolled, ending up significantly closer to the hole than allowed. Clark's caddy looked around. Nobody said anything. The official started walking toward Clark to address the drop. Before he could reach him, another voice cut in through his earpiece. Higher, more authoritative. Do not approach the player. We will handle it after the round. The official stopped mid-stride. He watched Clark take his stance, swing, and put his approach shot within 10 feet of the pin. Clark made birdie. The crowd erupted. The official stood frozen. 2 holes, 2 clear violations, 0 penalties. He was not just being ignored, he was being actively suppressed. His entire purpose, his 22 years of service, was being mocked. But he did not quit yet. He decided to document everything, and what he witnessed on the back 9 would push him over the edge. He thought the first 2 holes were bad, but holes 11 and 14 were not accidents. They were calculated acts of manipulation that the official could not unsee. Hole 11, a long par 5 where Clark was trying to cut the corner. His second shot flew wide and landed in a waste area. In a waste area, you cannot ground your club. Clark's ball was sitting on a patch of gravel. The official saw Clark take his practice swing, and his club touched the gravel, moving several pebbles. That's a penalty. The official had a perfect view. He waited for the call. The earpiece crackled. Let it go. It's too close to call. The angles are not conclusive. The official knew that was a lie. Clark made his shot, got on the green in regulation, and 2-putted for another birdie. The lead grew. The official felt sick. Hole 14, a par 3 with an island green. Clark's tee shot found the water. He took a penalty drop. The official watched the drop spot carefully. Clark's caddy placed the marker, and Clark dropped the ball. The ball rolled back slightly but settled. The official knew the drop was legal, but what happened next was not. Clark took his practice swing, and his club barely touched the grass, creating a small indentation that helped his stance. That is grounding your club in a hazard. That is a 2-stroke penalty. The official's blood ran cold. He had seen this pattern before. Small infractions that add up. A stroke here, a stroke there. By the time anyone adds it up, the player has already won. Clark walked off the green with a par. 4 holes, 4 violations, 0 penalties. The official walked off the course that evening with a decision to make. By the time the round ended, the official had documented every violation, but the people above him had a different plan, and that plan was about to be exposed on live television. The official requested a meeting with the USGA officials on site. He presented his evidence, the notes, the timestamps, the exact rules broken. He expected them to review the footage and disqualify Clark. Instead, they told him to forget about it. They said the tournament was too important. The sponsors were watching. The ratings were huge. They said Clark was a star, and stars do not get penalized for minor infractions. The official refused to accept that. He said, "We are talking about 4 holes. This is not minor. This is a pattern." The higher-up leaned in and said, "If we call this, we ruin the entire tournament. We lose the winner. We lose the narrative. Do you want that on your head?" The official replied, "I want the truth on the scorecard." The meeting ended. The official was left alone with his notes and his conscience. The next morning, the official contacted a producer from the broadcast team. He told them he had a story. He told them he was going to break it live, and he did not care about the consequences. The producer tried to talk him out of it. "Think about your family. Think about your future." He said, "I have been thinking about my future for 22 years. My future is already gone. I just want the truth out there." On Sunday afternoon, as the final round was wrapping up, the official stepped in front of the live camera. He was wearing his USGA polo. He looked like he belonged there. But the words that came out of his mouth belonged nowhere in professional golf. He said, "I am resigning today. I have served for 22 years, and I cannot serve another day under these conditions. I was ordered to ignore Wyndham Clark's cheating on 4 holes. I have proof. and I am going public." The broadcast cut to commercial. The producer screamed in the headset. The official walked off the set, and he has not spoken to the media since. But the damage was done. The video clip went viral within minutes. Golf Twitter exploded. News outlets scrambled for comments. The USGA issued a brief statement that said, "We are reviewing the situation and will respond in due course." That statement was corporate for, "We are panicking." The official walked away from everything he knew, but Wyndham Clark did not walk away from that tournament. He walked away with the trophy, and that trophy now has a giant asterisk next to it. Now, you have to understand that Wyndham Clark is no stranger to controversy. This was not his first time being accused of bending the rules. In 2024, during the same Arnold Palmer Invitational, fans noticed his ball moving slightly in the rough. The PGA Tour reviewed the footage and cleared him. In 2025, he took a free drop after his ball landed in a pitch mark, and again, he was cleared. There was also the Oakmont Country Club incident, where he was banned for damaging a century-old locker. Clark has a pattern. He plays right up to the edge. Sometimes he crosses it, and when he crosses it, he rarely gets caught. That is what makes this official's testimony so believable. He is not an angry fan. He is not a jealous competitor. He is an insider who spent decades protecting the integrity of the game. The real question is not whether Clark cheated. The real question is who ordered the cover-up. The official refused to name names on camera. He simply said, "The order came from above me, way above me." That suggests a coordinated effort, not just one rogue official, but a systemic pressure to protect the product. Golf is a television show. A disqualification of a star player is bad for business, but ignoring cheating is bad for the sport itself. The official had a choice: protect the game or protect his career. He chose the game. Now the USGA has a choice: admit the truth or bury it forever. What happens next will define golf for a generation. In the days following the broadcast, the fallout has been relentless. Media outlets ran scathing pieces calling it golf's biggest scandal. Social media exploded with demands for a full investigation. Many have demanded that Clark's victory be vacated. Tom Watson, the legendary golfer, issued a public apology. He said, "I am ashamed that this happened on American soil. We are better than this." The PGA Tour promised a review of all rules enforcement procedures, but the fans are not convinced. They have seen these promises before. The official himself has become a ghost. He has not given any interviews. He has simply disappeared. Some say he is in hiding. Some say he is preparing a lawsuit. What is clear is that he has no future in golf. He is blackballed. He sacrificed everything for a principle that most people do not even care about. And that is what makes this story so heartbreaking. He lost his career. Clark lost his reputation. But golf may have lost its soul, and that is the one thing that cannot be replaced. What happens to the 22-year veteran now? He walks away with nothing. No severance package. Just the knowledge that he told the truth. Wyndham Clark, on the other hand, is still playing. He is still winning. He will tee off next week, and the cameras will follow him, and the sponsors will pay him, and the fans will cheer him. The system protects its own, but there is a cost to that protection. Every time a player gets away with a violation, every time a rules official is silenced, every time a cover-up is swept under the rug, the sport loses a little bit of its magic. Golf is built on honor. It is the only sport where players call penalties on themselves. That honor is what makes golf beautiful. And when that honor is betrayed, the sport becomes just another business. So, where do we go from here? The USGA is under immense pressure to launch an independent investigation. If they do, and if they find evidence supporting the official's claims, Clark could face retroactive penalties. If they do nothing, the fans will lose all trust. They will stop watching, and that would be the ultimate disaster. The ball is in the USGA's court. They can either open the books or close the door forever. Which one do you think they will choose? Here is the thing. This is not just about Wyndham Clark. It is about every player who has ever been protected. It is about every official who has ever been silenced. It is about every fan who has ever wondered if the sport they love is rigged. This official gave his career so that we could have that conversation. Now we have to do our part. We have to keep asking questions. We have to keep demanding transparency. We have to keep watching the footage and reading the rule book and calling out the violations. Because if we do not, the system wins. The system will continue to protect the stars at the expense of the sport. And that is not the golf we grew up loving. This is not a story about a rogue official. It is a story about a sport at a crossroads. One path leads to integrity, the other leads to entertainment. They cannot both survive. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe the official story? Do you think the USGA will actually investigate this, or will they sweep it under the rug like everything else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you think Clark should be stripped of his win, say that. If you think the official was wrong, say that. I want to see your rulings. And if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, because this story is far from over. The fallout is just beginning, and you are not going to want to miss what comes next.